Hello and welcome to the In the Pocket podcast. I'm Logan Martin. That's Xander Cook. Again, unfortunately, Max is busy with work duties. Thank you guys for, the support, liking, commenting, subscribing to anything we put out on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram. We really appreciate it. It's done a lot for us. It motivates us to keep going. I don't think any of us are going to quit. So that's
No,
that's the
absolutely
fun part
not.
about it. So yeah, if I go to our channel right now, because obviously what I post on Instagram probably changed in the meantime. We are at, no, it hasn't changed yet. 37,235 views since late August. So again, really appreciate you guys. We're at 85 subscribers. Let's try to get that up to 100. So starting off with the Jaguars at the Broncos, Denver Broncos at home, favored by 2.5 points. They're coming off a huge home victory against the Green Bay Packers. So yeah, these are the two of the three hottest teams in the NFL right now who get a chance to battle for bragging rights in the AFC. Broncos on an 11-game win streak, Jaguars on a 5-game win streak. This is going to be a great matchup, and I think the line's perfect. You see this matchup, you probably think of a field goal game. So I think the line's right around where it should be, but question is who's going to win it? The Jaguars, T-Law is playing out of his mind right now, and I think this is the game he goes back to old T-Law, man. We've talked about it over and over on the podcast. Him turning the ball over, throwing picks. It's like he's trying to throw them. It's so unbelievable how bad his interceptions look at sometimes. But, we got to give him credit. Recently, he's been playing really well. The best Trevor Lawrence has played since he's came into the NFL as a first overall pick. And and then Jacoby Myers, he just got paid. A huge addition. He was a huge addition to the Jaguars midseason when he got traded over from the Raiders. He just got signed to a 3-year, $60 million deal. And not to mention Brian Thomas Jr. is starting to step up. Starting to see old Brian Thomas Jr. of last year. Can we see that in this game against a matchup where is it going to be Pat Surtain? Is it going to be Riley Moss on Brian Thomas Jr.? Because there are threats at the receiver position for the Jaguars. Sean Payton has a way of motivating his team at halftime that I don't know what he's saying in there, but it flips the switch. Down to KC at home, no problem. Down 18 versus the Giants, no problem. Down to Green Bay at home, no problem. Down by 14 to the Eagles, no problem. The Denver Broncos have done some things we have not seen in a long time, and they're doing it with a lack of receiver talent, a young quarterback. Denver will force 2 turnovers in this game, and they're going to get the win. They win 27-22 at home.
Mm. See, I actually don't like the spread being at 2.5, but I see why it is. I mean, the Broncos have been in one-score games practically all year. The Jaguars come into Mile High, like you mentioned, on a 5-game heater with Trevor Lawrence playing exceptional football. But the Jaguars haven't faced a team like the Broncos. Trevor Lawrence, he's had some bad games this season against elite defenses, man. He's had 158 yards, a touchdown, and a pick against Houston, 74.7 rating against the Rams, 50% completion percentage, and a pick against Houston in their first matchup. And then you look at the Broncos, they haven't lost a home game in over a year, and Bo Nix is coming off of what I think is his best game of his career. The Broncos have pressured opposing quarterbacks on 31.2% of passing plays since 2024, and that's tied for the best in the NFL in that stretch. And that's horrible news if you're Trevor Lawrence because his team has been successful on just 22.8% of pass attempts when their QB is under pressure, and that's bottom 3 in the league. So I'm taking Denver in this one. I think it's going to be a defensive win for the Broncos, 26-13.
I think that stat that you just put out, that was a really good stat, man. And with this pass rush for the Denver Broncos, who for most of the season led the NFL in sacks as a team. So be
Hmm.
interesting to see how that offensive line holds up for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Not to mention, I think that Jaguars defense is not getting enough credit. They've really been stepping
Oh,
up. They've really been
100%.
playing good.
Yeah, they've been playing some great football, and they're a team that forces a lot of turnovers too. I think the team as a whole is second in the turnover margin, and if you look at the Jags defense, they forced 24 takeaways now. They're playing some unreal ball.
You mentioned Jacksonville on a heater right now. They're averaging 27 points a game on the season. In their last 3 games, they're averaging 36. So that offense is clicking on all cylinders. They're looking really good right now. Both got the Broncos, both supporting the Broncos. Okay, next game, we got the Falcons in Arizona to play the Cardinals. Max, kick it off. We got the line is, it's 3.5 favored towards the Atlanta Falcons.
All
Two and
right,
a half, 2.5 favored towards the Atlanta Falcons.
yeah, with Raheem Morris on the hot seat, the Falcons just seem to be fighting for him. To me, it was evident in their last game. It was a gritty 14-point comeback win over the division rival Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And then you look on the opposite side, I think it's time that we discuss Jonathan Gannon being fired. His defense has allowed 33 points per game and 395 total yards per game, with almost 6.5 yards per play average in just their last 4 games. So that to me, that just tells me that Bijan's going to cook, and it just tells me that Kirk Cousins will have a repeat of his game against Tampa. So I like Atlanta in this one, 30-24.
30-24. Yeah, I don't know if I can trust 30 points out of the Atlanta Falcons with Kirk Cousins at quarterback.
They just scored
Um,
29.
I mean, yeah, that's a great point. And this is Kirk Cousins looking a lot better than what we saw last year. Yeah, probably. So,
Yeah.
obviously, unfortunately, they lost their starting quarterback, but in this case, the Atlanta Falcons are 5-9. They're in a shitty spot. They gave away their first round draft pick in a trade to get Michael Penix in that draft. So this year they don't have a draft pick and they don't have a good record. So it's kind of backfiring on him. But like you said, Raheem Morris, like I hear a lot of 50-50. Keep him, fire him, keep him, fire him. I don't know how he has a job. He's doing the best he can. I'm hearing both sides of the story, and this is a game where the chapter closes and we figure out what the hell happened. Like the Arizona Cardinals are 3-11. They've been dog shit for the last 13 weeks, it feels like. They haven't done anything, and the line's only 2.5 right now. I don't know, man. It's telling me the Cardinals are going to keep it close, but I'm going to give the Falcons a win. 26-24 on the road. Arizona covers. Next game, we're going to go into Steelers at the Lions, man. Your Steelers in Detroit. Cold weather won't be a factor. You're underneath the dome. So
Mhm.
Xander, kick it off. Who you got? Detroit favored by 7.
Look, Pittsburgh's offense, they've shown more life in recent weeks. Aaron Rodgers has been finding some success down the field for a change. He's been lobbing it to DK. He's been getting those yards after catch. He's been throwing it to Washington, who's freaking stiff arming 80 guys on the field. He's just absurd. So I've loved their offense in recent weeks. And honestly, Kenneth Gainwell is not getting enough credit this season. He's one of, I think, three, four, five running backs that lead their team in receptions. He is on a Pro Bowl level right now. We should absolutely resign him. I love him. So even with Rodgers' success, he still has limitations. Detroit's defense has a almost 38% pressure rate, which is sixth highest in the league. And Rodgers, he has a 37% completion rate when under pressure this season, and that's dead last in the league. And then you look at the Lions offense, they lead the league in points per game, almost 31, and that number jumps even higher when they're at home, almost 34 points per game. The Steelers offense just aren't on the same level as that Detroit offense. If the Lions can get after Rodgers, which they can, in my opinion, Sam is going to be injured in this game, and they control the clock on offense, which they can, because the Steelers offense just suck at controlling the clock. It's just going to relieve so much stress on the Lions' injury plague secondary, and it's just going to be a super comfortable victory for this Lions team that's clinging on to playoff hopes. And not to mention, we're going to be without TJ Watt. We're going to be without James Pierre. We're going to be without Nick Herbig. So I think the Lions are just shred us when we're out there on defense. So I'm going Lions 37-20.
Yeah, looking at recent games for Detroit in their last 5, they played Green Bay 3 games ago on Thanksgiving, and they got their ass whooped. I think that was, clear as day. When you watch that game, it looked like their defense couldn't stop a cold.
Hmm.
And then the next week they're playing Dallas at home. All of the money's on Dallas. Everyone's betting Dallas based on how Dallas performed against the Chiefs on Thanksgiving, based on how the Lions played on Thanksgiving. Two teams on the opposite sides of the spectrum on Thanksgiving. And then we saw Detroit play probably the most physical brand of football we've seen all year. Their defense was locked in. You could tell Dan Campbell got a grip of them. He's coaching the offense and defense right now. That's a lot on his plate, but this is the right guy. This is a grown ass man. These guys listen to Dan Campbell. They trust Dan Campbell, even through losses. You gotta remember what Dan Campbell's first season was like in Detroit. I think they won like what 3 games, and,
Hmm.
and they turn it around in a year and a half. So I know Detroit's not having a great year. They might not make the playoffs, but there's still hopes. But like I said, looking at the situation, they lose on Thanksgiving to Green Bay, come back and play a really physical game. They lose by 7 to the Rams last game. They're gonna come back and whoop the shit out of the Steelers, 34-20.
Yep, I am right there with you.
Next game. I got
Raiders
no notes and
Texans.
I'm beefed up. Pause.
Mhm.
Raiders Texans. I'm leaving that.
That's crazy.
Raiders,
Beefed up, ladies and gentlemen.
Raiders at the Texans. I'm gonna keep it brief, man. The Raiders are the worst team in the NFL, but no Kenny Pickett. Geno Smith's coming back. Did Geno Smith need that rest? I don't know, but he better than Kenny Pickett. I can tell you that. You
A
know, they
hundred
scored
percent.
75 total yards of offense last game. That was, I think, the least amount of yards they've had offensively since like 1961.
Holy
Yeah,
fuck.
I forgot what the exact date was, but it was in the 1960s. It's been a long time since the Raiders have been
Damn.
this bad on offense. And the Raiders haven't been a really good franchise since I can
No.
remember. So, Texans at home. I think they're pissed off that, the Cardinals got to them a little bit towards the end of the game. And
Mm.
if you're an elite defense, if you're the best team in the NFL, you got to take that personal. You got to take it personal that a shitty ass team just came in and walked all over you late game. You can't, you got to play all four quarters. And I think they get right in the spot. I don't know if the Raiders score 10 points. I'm going to go 30-9 Texans. I think their offense is getting hot too.
Ooh. Yeah, dude. All I'm gonna say, Texans have the best defense in the NFL. They lead the league in points per game allowed at just over 16, and they lead the league in yards allowed per game just under 270. You look at the Raiders offense, it doesn't matter who's at QB. Geno Smith, Kenny Pickett, it doesn't matter. They have the worst offense in the league. They're averaging just under 245 yards per game. And guess what? Their offense is scoring 14 points per game. That is atrocious. Now you're going up against the best defense in the league. Good fucking luck. I don't think they even score 6 points. I think Texans cover the spread easily 24-3.
Love it, man. This next game, Sunday Night Football. I don't get it. I don't get it. All the public money's on the Patriots, so I'm not even gonna bet it. Not even gonna touch it.
Ooh.
89% of the bets are money or something. I just saw it on my Instagram or on the Patriots. They're the top public play on the NFL board. You know who the second most public play on the board is, and it's my second favorite play outside the Patriots is the
Hmm.
freaking Philadelphia Eagles over the Commanders by 6.5. That's the second most public play. And you look at all these public plays, man. This season, they're not hitting. They're not. Vegas
How
is getting
how
rich.
is how is Patriots Ravens the most public play?
Because the Patriots are +3 right now, and the
Like
Ravens have been dog shit all year.
I mean, I get it, but at the same time, it's like I would have had Texans Raiders up there. I'd have had
I would
so
too.
many other games up there.
Lions. I'd probably take that.
The Lions, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. So
Come
you
on.
kick this one off, man. I'm looking at the matchup predictor and it's saying 60% Baltimore. I don't know if Derrick Henry's going to be able to do what James Cook did on the New England Patriots. I think
Mm.
Mike Vrabel behind the scenes is pissed the fuck off and let the team know like we let one slip away. We had an opportunity right in front of us and we didn't capitalize. And quite frankly, we gave it away. We handed it right to him.
Mm.
So I
Yeah.
think the Patriots need to stick to the run game. What do you think, bud?
Oh yeah, 100% stick to the run game. I mean, you look at what the Steelers' formula was. Granted, it wasn't a ton on the run, but when we did run the football, we did find a little bit of success. And then you look at the Ravens' run defense in general, you can find success against them. So absolutely lean on Henderson in this matchup. And you look at New England last week, they jumped out to a 21-0 lead against the Buffalo Bills. They beat the Bills back in week 5 in Buffalo. So now they're up 21 points. I'm thinking to myself, fuck, man, this team is going to win their seventh Lombardi. I'm going to kill myself. I can't believe they're getting 7 trophies in this fucking, oh my, just since 2000. We had four. We had four in the 70s, two since then. How do you get 7 since 2000? That should not be possible. I hate that. But then the Patriots failed to kill the Bills. Bills end up winning 35-31. The run defense for the Patriots looked like shit. The receivers couldn't get more than 3 yards of separation. So in the offseason, Drake May, he needs a wide receiver one. He absolutely needs a wide receiver one. He needs better offensive line because as soon as Campbell went down, that offensive line has gone to shit in protecting him. So it's going to be tough. But New England at the end of the day against Buffalo, they just couldn't stop the reigning MVP. So is two-time MVP Lamar Jackson going to be the same kind of test for the Patriots? In September, I would have said absolutely. But Lamar just hasn't been the same Lamar since he came back from his hamstring injury in late October. Since week 8, he's been inconsistent as fuck, man. He's had fumble issues. He's had interception issues. He's just not playing good football. And now he's playing the Patriots, who have one of the better defenses in the league. I just don't think Lamar's juice is there anymore. I don't think the Ravens' juice is there anymore. I like the Patriots in this one, 27-20.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. If you go back to the Bills game when the Patriots played on the road, one thing they did really well is containing Josh Allen in his legs. Josh Allen, he wasn't able to escape. Like he could escape the pocket, but he couldn't make anything out of it. He couldn't get
Mhm.
any more than 5 yards. It looked like the defense for the Patriots was quick as hell, and they looked a lot healthier than they did last week against Josh Allen, the Bills. I think they get right here. They figure out how to contain Lamar Jackson, keep him inside the pocket. Not to mention he doesn't really want to scramble right now. He's banged
Mm.
up. He's been dealing with an injury all year. The team kind of sucks, and you got to remember the first couple weeks of the season, like Ravens were talking about going to the Super Bowl, or we weren't, but they were Super Bowl contenders. And they blew 2 games due to
Yep.
fumbles, and it's like we completely forgot that happened because they're sitting here at 7-7. So I just don't think Lamar's playing good football right now. And Derrick Henry over 1,100 yards right now. That's going to have to be the answer for him right now. I think the Patriots defensive backs can lock up the receivers for the Baltimore Ravens. The question is, how active will the tight ends be? How active will Mark Andrews and Isaiah likely be for the Baltimore Ravens? Because it seems like those guys are their go-to options in a lot of scenarios. But yeah, like I said, I'm right with you. I think the wrong team is favored. It scares me as a public play, so I probably won't bet it. No, I take that back. I probably will bet it because it's my favorite team. Um, but yeah, I'm going to go 27-20 right with you. Patriots upset.
I like it.
Last game on the board. We got 44-year-old Philip Rivers in a prime time spot. I can't wait to crack a cold one and watch this shit. Playing the 49ers. I got to see what the line is right now. San Francisco favored by 5.5.
It should be more.
What? Yeah, bro. I'm gonna leave this short.
Actually, I can't
You
even
got to
say it should be
prove to me,
more
Philip.
because he lost by 2 points to Seattle. So
They chewed the
honestly,
clock,
I
but
don't
like
even know.
I think it was one of those spots where like Seattle thought they're gonna whoop their ass, and they come out and got stunned. And it's like, oh shit, we're gonna be in a long. It's gonna be a long day, and I think that's kind of what happened. I think the 49ers are prepared for that. They understand what happened to the
Yeah.
Seattle Seahawks, and they're gonna be ready for that. I think Saleh, Shanahan, they're telling their guys like, we can't be stunned. Like these guys can compete. This is the fucking NFL. Like games are close this year. Like 14-point spreads aren't hitting as automatic as you think, and I agree with you. I think the 49ers should be favored by more. I'm surprised this line's not like 7. So in that case, I'm going to go 49ers to win. I'm going to go same score as we did for the Patriots Ravens, 27-20. Niners cover.
It's I like that you mentioned that. I'll get to it. The 49ers, yeah, they've dominated time of possession during their 4 game win streak. They've had those long scoring drives on the back of the league best 60% third down conversion rate. That's 7 points higher than who's in second, which is Green Bay. So I see that success continuing on Monday night, and this Colts offense just won't keep up, dude. The 49ers have offensive firepower to score a shit ton of points, and they have an above average defensive unit to limit Philip Rivers. Not that he needs to be limited anyways. I mean, it's a 44-year-old noodle arm Rivers, you know. So I'm going with a 7 point victory as well. 24-17 49ers.
Love it. This is a fire episode. We breezed through that though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we shut up. I don't know if there are any gaps in there. So
Mm-mm.
I'm gonna chop this up pretty quick. This is the In the Pocket podcast. Again, appreciate you guys tuning in, liking, subscribing, commenting, all activity, all engagement. We appreciate it. Helps us out a lot. We're doing this for free right now. Business moves still in the making, still in the making. We'll come out with that soon. I promise you. I know we talked about that a couple weeks ago. It's still happening. It's not as
Oh yeah.
easy to just make it happen right there. There's contracts, there's meetings that need to take place, a bunch of stuff. But when we get there, it's just we're just gonna be rolling. It's a
Oh
well-oiled
yeah.
machine. We are.
Oh yeah. Peace and
Yeah.
love, people.
Jaguars Broncos. I have the Broncos winning this one 30-27. Falcons Cardinals. I've got the Falcons winning this one. Let's see. 24-17. Raiders Texans. Texans blow them out. Texans will win 30. I'm going to say 30 to nothing or 30 to 3. 30 to 3. Uh Steelers Lions. Closer game than you'd think. Lions still win 27-24. Patriots Ravens. I have the Ravens winning this game 30-27. And then I've got the 49ers over the Colts 24-17.